I had another vision. This episode gets even less views than the first one.
We haven't even released the first one as of recording.
Still in the editing floor. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the 1.5 White Guys podcast, or more unsolicited white guy opinions on movies. For long, I'm Nathan, your half white guy.
I'm Nick. You can guess which one.
Yeah, look how pale he is in the light. Look at the color difference. Welcome back, anyway, audience. We are continuing our series Superfluous on the Final Destination movie series. We started it in preparation for the sixth one, which is coming out in May.
And it's been a while.
It's been a long time. It's been
fifth.
14.
They made
14 years on this one. So, but we are continuing now. We did our first one. That's already out, hopefully. And now, hopefully. The next one we're continuing is Final Destination 2, which will come out, I think, 3 years after the original. A little bit of time, so it's time separating the two. But interesting that this one got a sequel. I don't know if they were planning for it when they finished this one. I mean, it ends on a cliffhanger, the first one, if you remember. But
boy, did they do something funny with that in this.
Yeah. They tie it all together really, really neatly in a bow. And they're like, you don't need to watch anything else. And then a couple years later, actually 3 more years later, they would do another one.
Well, that one took some conspiracies.
All right. We're going to leave that one
to an even greater height.
Final three is my favorite, so I'll be ready to get all dressed up or something for that one when we get into it.
Dressed up how?
I don't know. I'll be the guy that gets cut in half or whatever. We are doing Final Destination 2, released in 2003, directed by David Ellis. Again, the genius behind Snakes on a Plane.
And Shark Night.
And you said the fourth final, right?
The Final
Destination, which I forget that he even did that, which I had to remember. Starring Jennifer from Criminal Minds as Kimberly. That's AJ Cook. She was Jennifer on the Criminal Minds. If you watched that, I watched a season or 2 of that, so I remember her from that. Ali Larter returns as Clear Rivers. I don't know why they got her back. I guess things weren't going so well. Maybe she's like, I need a little bit more money. Michael Landis as Officer Thomas Burke, and I don't really recognize him from anything else.
He's like the chillest cop ever in this.
He's actually like a reasonable police officer.
It's rare.
It's
the most unrealistic part of the movie.
He's like, yeah, this is pretty odd. Why don't we just take a nice measured approach to all of this?
Oh yeah, everybody's on board with this shit.
Yeah.
Like the minute they bring up Flight 180.
And then finally, Candyman himself, Tony Todd, R.I.P. Reprises his role as William Bloodworth.
He doesn't even need a name. He's Tony Todd.
He's Tony Todd in this movie, given, again, the most ominous dialogue you have ever heard in your life. And I do want to say, if you saw the warning that's coming out before the first one, we made that first Final Destination review long before these planes started falling out of the sky consistently. We made a lot of plane jokes in that episode. Thankfully, this episode is going to be about car accidents. So, which happen every day already. So we're all pretty accustomed to that. Hopefully there's no more plane accident jokes in this one. New type of vision this time, a little bit different. And also some new ideas introduced with the vision haver in this one. The person that sees the vision initially also sees other visions later.
There's lots more visions.
Yeah, there's lots of other stuff. Now, this is really That's So Raven. The other one was kind of That's So Raven. This is really That's So Raven. And Nick, do you want to lead us in with the IMDB summary for Final Destination 2?
All right, the summary as follows. Death is stalking Kimberly Corman and multiple survivors of a deadly highway accident. Now, that's good, except are we supposed to know who Kimberly Corman is?
I don't know. It's very introduced that it's just like, I mean, it seems like it doesn't really matter because they're in it with her just almost immediately.
Yeah.
They're like,
they don't waste any time in this,
There's really no backstory. Not like Alex Browning in the first one, really building up to the fact that he's a kid with his whole life in front of him. This is a girl going to Daytona Beach to have fun. And then just everything goes wrong.
I'm just going to say right now, I think the pacing in this is much better than the first.
It's faster.
Yeah.
It's much quicker.
Especially in the second half.
Yeah.
Now, this is my first time watching this from start to finish. I'd seen parts of it. Really, again, like the only one I had seen prior to watching the first one for this show was that fourth one.
Yep.
That fourth one, and then you had me watch the third one, and then now I'm working my way up.
Yep.
I'm working my way.
We're getting almost to the end of the Final Destinations. Nick only has to see one more technically till he's seen them all.
Oh, yeah, that's right. and then we just got to wait until, what
May.
is it, Memorial Day weekend?
Memorial Day
out?
weekend
I
for
think so.
final 6.
There's only so many things you actually are there to see in a final movie.
Yeah.
You are there to see the death playing catch up for all these people. How are they going to get it each way?
The Goldberg deaths, right? You want to see the Rube Goldberg?
Oh, the Rube Goldberg deaths.
The Goldberg deaths.
But one thing I don't think I appreciated but man, they really outdid themselves with the big big accident that happens in this. Because the plane scene in the first one is dated, and there's only so much they could do. They really saved, I think, their creativity and their budget for like you said, the Rube Goldberg. But in this, I think it's like the crowning achievement of this movie is that highway crash, dude.
It's pretty amazing.
I love it.
It's the perfect amount of practical and special effects.
David R. Ellis was
CGI,
I believe he was a stunt coordinator, stunt man. Like he obviously knew what he was doing. He knew how to shoot all of this.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Did you watch this one when you were in high school?
High school as well. I went down and I was like, after the first one, I said, well, got to watch the second one. And maybe I watched it like a couple days later. And I was like, damn, everyone remembers this log truck scene. I think that this one tends to be one of the weaker ones. And I don't think that's necessarily bad. I just think that I don't think that for some reason, like everything is as memorable besides the log truck scene. I like a lot of parts of this. I just don't think if I had to rank all the finals, it's like 3.
We know how you feel.
It's like 3, 1 and 5 are tied.
Oh, so 5's that good.
I think 1 and 5 are tied. Then 2, then 4. So I would have to rank it like that. But I appreciate how this tries to add new stuff and they try to grow with it. It does make it interesting. It does make it very interesting, especially how it ties to the original. So I'm going to go ahead and say I enjoyed this. I just think it's one of the weaker ones in the series.
I think the interesting script they have, it kind of is a good balancing act with, that typical melodramatic acting and, how the story plays out of everybody just kind of like coming together. Because it's more or less the same as the first one where these characters are, how they act, it's like they're just kind of out of like, one of those TV shows from that time.
Yeah.
But I did appreciate
One Tree Hill.
I don't know if I'm getting ahead of myself, but I did appreciate that there's some quiet human moments in this too. Like when they're all talking, I don't want to give too much away, but when they're all talking in the car about how they've had like similar experiences.
Something binds us together.
Yeah. But they do something I thought was really clever.
In some ways, like we talked about before, it's all similar, right? It's always the same. It's always
every
the same.
one of these movies is the same formula.
Yeah, but I mean, like we always talked about before, every slasher is the same. Yep. Some guy with a knife coming after some teenagers or whatever.
Not always a knife.
Oh, isn't always a knife. Sometimes chainsaw, machete, magical gold leprechaun powers. Should we get into the movie?
Well, yeah, we kind of already did, but it's AJ Cook is just.
Kimberly.
Well, actually, this first scene I think is kind of weak because it's them giving the most unnecessary recap of what happened in the first.
She fell asleep with the TV on. I'm assuming it's like 3 a.m. somewhere, and she just was like sleeping in her room.
Yeah,
and we get. Okay, this is one of two things. Okay, this is one of two things. This is an actual news report, or it's one of those late night like. Audience, you're familiar with like Coast to Coast AM? With Art Bell, who passed R.I.P. You ever listen to that? Coast to Coast AM. So Coast to Coast AM was like a thing that was, on AM radio, and it was a thing like a lot of truck drivers listened to, and it was like
night shift workers.
Yeah, but it was specifically targeted at the weirdest parts of society. Like Art Bell, the host, would have anyone on it. They would talk about Area 51. They would talk about Bigfoot. They would talk about ghosts. They would talk about everything. All the weirdest stuff happened on this radio station. It seems like it's that type of show. Some conspiracy theorist guessed the plot of the first movie 100% correctly.
The theory.
Got it 100% down.
The theory of the first movie that
death has this grand design that we all fit into. So when Alex Browning got off that plane and took the other survivors with him, he basically screwed up Death's plan.
How the fuck would you know that? Like,
I guess he found something.
did Alex Browning just blog all this shit?
I'm pretty sure he put it
before that brick hit him in the head.
You know, he had a long Facebook status I read.
Yeah. MySpace status. I don't care for this part of the movie because it's everything. It's the exact similar. Because maybe if they were just hinting at like, hey, what if it's this? You know, it's like you can get away with that. But it's not necessary because they just have the same exact conversation maybe like 20 to 30 minutes later in the movie. You know, that's where I'm just kind of like, okay, there's the far-fetchedness of this story.
It's an unnecessary scene, but I guess it adds into the world that like everyone is on board with this. And this is just in like the public zeitgeist where like everyone understands that this is what happened. Death is real. Death is a real entity, and it comes for us in the order it needs to. Like, it's in the public zeitgeist. These are probably talks in academia. There's at UCLA, there's a story.
Theses
written about death. Mortuary technical services have seen a huge rise in people entering into it. There's way more morticians than funeral homes. Anyway, so we got Kim and her friends, and I don't even know their names, and honestly, it doesn't matter. It really does not matter because this movie, in the original, it was a bunch of young people that were in the same class that avoid death. And this one is just a bunch of randos. And thankfully, none of them are her friends. But they all get together and because they're driving to Daytona, and I forget I think it's supposed to be Pennsylvania. They're driving from Pennsylvania to Daytona, Florida.
They're going to they're road tripping, so they get on the highway.
Is it like spring break or something? Maybe
I don't even know if they're in high school or college or whatever.
Like college. Anyway, so they get on and they pull onto the main highway.
And this takes a while. Like the tension building is pretty good. Like you're pretty much more or less introduced to each character.
Yeah,
you know, one guy's on a motorcycle, one gal is on her phone. There's a mom and a son. There's a creepy little Harbinger kid with like a couple of toy cars. Just like that's
don't forget the reference to the original movie. Fucking a bus full of Mount Abraham High School football players.
Oh yeah, they passed the bus
going from pile up.
They passed the bus from Jeepers Creepers too.
Yeah, the kids from the first the high school from the first movie. Mount Abraham is where it is, and it's like
okay.
Yeah, that's them. So they're saying pile up, you know that because you know it's an ominous thing. They're saying death's coming, and you know it's the same way in the first one where he's walking down the aisle and building tension in the airplane, right?
Yeah, literally everybody is going to die regardless of the log truck crashing because there's a dude doing coke while he's driving. Like a truck driver is drinking a beer while he's driving. Like more than one person is smoking weed while they're driving on this highway. I was like, everyone is going to die like on this highway regardless of the log truck.
The log truck was just the thing that triggered it.
But it does.
But they see this log truck go by, and just like everyone's scared of, millennials especially, the chains come loose and the logs start detaching and falling off the truck onto the highway. And these are full trees.
This is like the tree. This is
the middle of the tree. Like this is a full like redwood tree.
Was one of the trees
these are massive
that Schwarzenegger was carrying at the beginning of Commando.
There we go. Yeah,
and Cop gets it first. Like, and it's the moment that we're all afraid of. Is it just goes right through his windshield.
Jelly out the other side.
Right through his head, man. Like,
and again, I want to highlight, dude, the combination of both practical effects and CGI looks so good.
It holds up.
It looks so good. And those logs are CGI as well. And they look good.
I think they put most of the budget for that in
that. I was reading, they actually tried to use real logs. And then when they were doing the test, the bat just didn't bounce enough.
Yeah,
they were like, we have to fake it.
Yeah, they just have too much weight.
Yeah.
They just roll probably.
Because they're fucking logs.
It's all just a chain reaction. Logs are hitting cars. The cars are flipping over. The other cars hit the cars that are flipping over. Like
fucking dude doing coke just gets fucking like caught sideways, and then another truck that was carrying cars, I think,
just rams right into him.
Full out car blows up.
The guy on the motorcycle, he slides off his motorcycle and like hits the back of a car. It stops him, and then I think
and
then his motorcycle
comes and just like fucking splits his whole body in half up against the car or the log.
It's great. These car tumbles are amazing.
It looks this sequence is probably, I will say this, as far as like best looking premonition, I think this sequence is probably the best in the series.
By the way, one more thing. It's just all these cars are fueled by napalm, apparently, because every single car explodes in the biggest fireballs you've ever seen.
Remember we talked in the first one, audience and Nick as well. Remember we talked in the first one about how that airplane crash was based on a real event? This accident that they see, that Kimmy sees in the premonition, was based on a real multiple accident incident on Interstate 75 in Ringgold, Georgia on March 14th, 2002. There were 125 vehicles involved in the crash. It killed at least 4 people, injured 39, and backed up traffic for 8 miles.
What are you doing, Final
Listen to me, man. We're 2 for 2 right now on not nice based on real stuff. But, you know, maybe that's why the third, they're like, okay, we just got to make the roller coaster not look so real because people are getting really, really traumatized off of this. But thankfully, at least in the real version, there's no fucking log truck.
It's
horrific.
And yet it's still the most rewound scene in the movie.
Everyone loves it. Everyone loves that shit, dude. It's so fucking good.
It's a blast, but here's my problem with that is after Kimmy stops traffic in the entrance from getting onto the highway. She's like, there's going to be a crash.
Snaps back and she's like, oh, it's a premonition.
There's going to be a crash. The cop guy rolls up to her. He's just like, hey, what's the problem? I need you to get out of the car. And other people are getting out of their cars too. All the people that she saw die.
Yeah, because she saw them all in the premonition, right?
She saw
They're
die.
all on the same on-ramp.
And they're all like, what's the hold up? And then we just see the crash happen.
Yeah.
About 30 feet away.
Yeah.
And
she's like, that's the log truck. And then
that took me out of it because I'm like, y'all were on the highway for miles before that shit decided to crash. I'm like, and apparently it all just happened right there.
Well, same thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, same thing as the first one. Like we talked about. Remember where we talked about how the plane looked realistic, splitting apart, and then when they're off the plane, they look and it just blows up in the air. Just simple. And that's it. But so Kimmy's saved people, and what is it? It's 7, right? Total 7 people.
I think so.
So we get the 7 people that she's seen, but with her friends, there's a full even 10. And Death's like, that's way too many. So what Death does is send a semi-truck to kill her friends anyway.
Just fucking T-bone her
Which
friend.
is the weirdest fucking thing because the semi-truck, I guess, was trying to avoid the accident that it saw further down and went to go off the road. And in doing that, hit the on-ramp.
Well, that's Kimmy's fault for leaving the car there.
It just fucking destroyed her friends. Like, their car is fucking obliterated. Kimmy's only pulled back by the cop, you know.
He saved her.
He saves her that time. And so Death is like, all right, good. I can deal with 7. I couldn't deal with 10.
Lucky number.
Lucky number 7.
I didn't see that coming. I was just like, I thought they were in the movie. I thought they were all going to be the rest of the movie, but
those 3 friends don't matter. They don't matter.
I'm glad because I couldn't stand them. I thought that was a neat little twist.
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, you are all just random people. They take your friends out right quick.
Yeah, which is what the original concept for this movie was based on. It was supposed to be, 7 strangers that have never met and stuff like that. But in the first one, they changed it to kids because, slashers were doing really well. Her and a bunch of random people that survived the crash at the police station trying to give their kind of accounts of what happened. And they have kind of a discourse in the room, too, of like all of them being like, yeah, this is what happened to the Flight 180 survivors. There's references to Flight 180 everywhere. Everywhere
I know,
in this movie.
Yeah, it's everything's got to be connected to the first one.
Highway 180.
And at first
there's
I was
180
annoyed.
on cars, there's 180 on semis, there's 180 everywhere.
I was annoyed with it at first, but I realized why because it does kind of have a twist later in the movie. Yeah, it does tie into it.
Hey, yeah, maybe the Flight 180 thing is real and this woman saved us and we're all going to be slowly hunted down by Death. And they make it a joke, specifically Eugene, who goes, they're all dead. And scares the woman and her We're never quite sure how old the kid is.
No, they say he's 15, but I'm just like, you mean 25?
He's like 25. Yeah.
He acts like he's 10.
He acts like he's 10. Even his jokes later.
I'm just like, what is this psycho shit, man? What is this Norma Bates
weird
shit?
Yeah, it's super odd. Nobody's really unsure. Kim's just hanging out with her dad, who also isn't in the movie that much. It's also odd that in the beginning, her car leaked fluid and it didn't really matter at all.
Red herring.
Red herring!
We interrupt a pup named Scooby-Doo for this special announcement.
When's that doofus Freddy gonna learn I didn't do it? What a weenie.
Finally, someone from their vision dies, but unlike the first movie, it's not the first person that goes this time.
No, it's
the last one that they saw die. Anyway, the first one to get it is Lotto Man, and I never remember this dude's name, but he had just won the lottery. He lives in kind of a shitty apartment building. He's just bought a bunch of stuff because he just won the lotto, and tons of girls are hitting him up because he's rich now.
So fellas, just remember, they only want you for your money, okay?
That's
they
what he
really
does.
do.
He gets back and there's just tons of messages. Oh, hit me up. You were kind of a loser 2 years ago, but you're
rich now.
You're rich now. And I go, Jesus Christ, these are the most shallow things I've ever seen.
Here's the thing. Oh, well, that's some of the charm about these movies,
it's
right?
so
They
dumb.
had that in the first movie, but I'm sorry, even if death wasn't like coming for him, this dude's just clumsy.
Yeah,
like
he is pretty clumsy.
Like if it wasn't for death coming for him, it's very believable that he would have just started this shit on his own.
Oh yeah, he ends up starting a fire. In
Like
his
what,
place.
a grease fire or something?
Yeah, because he gets himself trapped in his garbage disposal, and while he has mozzarella sticks cooking in just like some grease on his stove.
Yeah,
and so that catches fire, and then what does he put in the fucking microwave that makes it explode? Some kind of metal, right?
No, he puts Chinese food in it, but some plastic and a plastic magnet from the fridge like fell into it. And he didn't notice that. Dude has no absolute
situational awareness.
Yeah, he's got no self-preservation. It's just like, you know what? I don't think death is coming for this guy. I think this guy's just an idiot.
You know what? Death was like, well, this guy was on my list already.
Death just gets there and he's already dead. He's like,
kind of amazing too, because he gets out before his whole apartment
this is
explodes. He gets out onto the fire escape, gets down, and because he had he had smelled some old spaghetti that I guess was there, and he was like, oh, it's not good. And he just threw it out his window. He gets down to the alley. He jumps off the ladder and he slips on the spaghetti and falls onto all this broken glass that came off of his window exploding. And then the ladder just fucking falls from the fire escape and impales him through the skull.
No, not yet. Not yet. It falls and then it just like stops like inches from his face. And he's like, oh, thank God. And then it just falls again and impales him.
Again, no self-preservation to be like,
or maybe I should get up really quickly.
Get out of the way. He just takes it.
I will say the deaths in this, I think
They're so good.
They're much better than the first, I think.
Okay, yeah,
I like a lot of them. I like a lot more of them in the first.
So the group all gets together and they discuss it and they're trying to figure out what to do and move through. Some
of them aren't even on board with it yet, but they're still there for some reason.
They're still into it and they're just like, we're gonna have to hide out and deal with all of this. I want to skip through some of this and just like get to the part they discover that Clear Rivers from the first movie, Allie Larder is still alive, and she is in this place called the Stony Brook Institute and has just checked herself in there to live in a padded room by herself and try to just live there for the rest of her life, I guess, and try to avoid death because she's still after death. And
death is still after her.
Death is still after her. And interesting.
Can't get me in here.
Interesting, Nick. I thought you would like to know that the Stony Brook Institute.
I know what you're going to say.
Oh, what is it?
Is where they shot Halloween Resurrection.
Halloween Resurrection.
I did not read that.
No,
I just fucking recognized it.
You just recognized it? What a fucking nerd. Anyway, yeah, so it's the same place.
I recognized the outside. I was like, that's the fucking place Laurie Strode was at.
From Halloween Resurrection.
From Resurrection.
That's featuring Kung Fu Master Busta Rhymes.
That's starring
Kung Fu Master Busta Rhymes.
Clear Rivers pops up, and thankfully it's not like a cameo like Tony Todd. She actually does end up in more of the movie.
Yeah, thankfully. And also we get to learn what happened to Devon Sawa.
basically Clear Rivers just goes beep, boop, boop, you're fucked. You know,
Yeah.
like she's really no help. She's just
Yeah.
kind of like, all my friends are dead. Here's what happens. You know, it's all part of this grand design and yada, yada, yada. You're
Death's
you're
working
seeing shit.
backwards.
This is exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Although some of the things AJ Cook is telling her, she's a little intrigued by. She's like, oh, that's not how it happened before.
Yeah.
Oh, but basically she tells her to fuck off. She's
Yeah.
like, you're fucked.
You're on your own.
I'm not leaving this place. But the funniest part of this movie is when we find out what happened to Devon Sawa from the first movie, the main character from the first movie. But we did
Alex Browning.
we do find out what happened to him earlier.
Yeah.
But the moment Ali Larder talks about it is the funniest part of the movie.
So Devon Sawa, Alex Browning died off camera sometime before the second movie took place
Due to
a
falling brick.
So he got beamed in the head with a brick. Just got fucking one-tied. And I'm assuming Death was like, take that, dick. Avoid me, will ye?
But when Ali Larder brings it up, it's so funny because she says, you remember Alex Browning? This is what happened to him. She holds up a Polaroid and it's apparently Alex Browning just, not even, just like his arms are just like, he's laying face down on a pavement. Just
Pool of blood.
No, not even any blood. It just looks like he fell face first. It's
A brick next to him.
It's so funniest
The brick-
picture ever.
The brick is autographed from the Mac Daddy. Just like on there.
Do you agree? That's funny as
It's
hell.
so funny.
It's
It's
such
so
a funny
goofy.
picture,
It's
and she's
so
playing
goofy.
it so straight. She's like, "Look what they did to my boyfriend," and it's just him,
Look how they massacred my boy.
just a face
It's so weird. And it's so unfortunate because he just dies off screen. And I made that joke with you.
in
I
the
told you,
lamest way.
I told you
too.
he would die off screen, and everyone's just like,
That's funny as
it's
hell.
so funny. It's so goofy. And we have to give a shout out. Why would you do this? But I guess they couldn't get him back. And we'll learn about why later. I mean, after this, they go back and they get into contact with Tony Todd, and he gives them some new ideas.
He shows up and
he gives them new ideas. And this one is this new idea. As I told you, he's the one that usually introduces new concepts into the story. It's like only new death can cheat. Only new life can cheat death. So someone's got to have a baby.
Can you not be fucking cryptic?
Someone's got to have a baby. So that's the big point. So the goals of the survivors from then point is to try to find the woman who also survived that was pregnant so she can have her baby.
Yeah, because there was a pregnant lady too.
And it's almost like if she gives birth to this baby, they both get out.
Well, it's multiple counts of carnage happen along the way. But I mean, I loved seeing Tony Todd in this, even though he's not quite in it as much as he is in the first one. Again, he's not in the first one very much.
He doesn't need to do much, yeah.
He's there, but you can tell he's having a lot of fun because he all but just looks at the camera and winks, basically.
Yeah.
But
He's having such a good time. That's why we love Tony Todd.
and it bummed me out because you know what? I would have loved to have seen him be like a host of a horror anthology show or something, as this mortician character. Just like that's kind of how he's parading himself around in this movie.
Yeah.
Like kind of like that John Carpenter one, Body Bags. Where he's
Body
like,
Bags.
where he's like
the mortician.
where it's all a framing device of him to tell stories, and he's just like, no, this body over here.
Yeah, I could see
fresh,
that. Yeah,
as
I
he
could
rips
see,
the nipple ring off. The guy.
I could see that. Yeah, this movie I think adds some more personality to who Death is in general. Makes sense. Like playing the highway to hell. Like this is things that Death does. Like it's like he's just some dude that just like this is like his hobby and he's all about it. Like he's on Reddit blogging about his like new ideas and getting ideas from Redditors about what to do. Like this is who Death is. I appreciate how this just adds to Death's personality. It really does. That the Death itself is this character that's just this just fucking weird dude that's just like super into the ironic and stuff
I love how so into this franchise you are that you really do identify Death as a character.
Death is a character. Death is a character, and that's why it's funny because it's like
what
just
song?
No, there's fanfare. There's fanfare and showmanship to his whole thing. It's not just simply just one after the other. He's like, if I'm going to be doing this for the rest of eternity, I'm going to make this fun. It's just wild.
If you do something you love, you never work a day in your
Yeah,
life.
damn right.
I think here's a good stopping point.
Yeah.
I'll give my final thoughts later because I'm interested in these facts.
Shall we move on to the facts section?
I'm ready.
All right. Facts section is real facts about the movie that I've researched and written down. Really, we only have 2, but I'm going to let you read them. And again, these are real facts about this movie with some other stuff included.
Let's see. Fact number 1, Final Destination 2 was released on January 31st, 2003. Ooh, January release.
Yeah, I know. January 31st, 2003.
To a $16 million opening weekend, it made $47 million while in theaters, placing it at number 2043 on the all-time inflation-adjusted domestic box office list. Some of its competition in 2003 included Kangaroo Jack, starring... Michael Shannon's in that.
Michael Shannon is in
He's the
Kangaroo
bad
Jack.
guy.
Yeah.
He's the evil kangaroo.
Yeah. The really bad one. Yeah.
That movie
The mob related, the kangaroo and the mob.
That's what it should have been called.
Yeah.
Because that movie's notorious. It's like gone down in history as like one of the biggest fucking like misleading fucking movies ever.
It's so weird.
It's like because it was marketed as. I'm sorry about my tangent right now, but I saw that movie in theaters, and it's just like, where's the kangaroo?
Yeah.
It's just like because they marketed it as a kids movie, and it's not.
Yeah.
It's not. It's about 2 guys on the run from the mob, and a kangaroo shows up and steals their money.
Yeah.
The Lizzie McGuire movie starring Why Not Take a Crazy Chance?
Why not take a crazy chance?
Why not do a crazy dance?
Why not do a crazy dance? You've seen the Lizzie McGuire movie, right?
20 years ago.
Oh my God. When she's like cruising around Italy, fucking singing on the back of a moped.
It's not cool to say gay, bro.
When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
And finally, Holes, starring Ellen Ripley as the warden. Excuse me?
Excuse me. I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That 2-day man!
Okay. So international numbers for Final Destination 2. Internationally, 43.5 million.
What was his budget?
43.5, 36 million. No, sorry, 26 million.
At a budget of 26.
Which I'm assuming mostly went to that the pile-up scene. Yeah.
And it made 47 domestically?
47 domestically for a total of 90.3 million worldwide.
good,
90.4
good.
pretty much if you round.
I'm glad.
So big, made it out. I mean, people like this. This is still beloved. This is like a beloved horror franchise.
It's so weird to think that this was contemporary horror back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, and now we look back on it as just like they're these comedies.
They
basically.
really are.
Yeah, there's just this nostalgic like comedy aspect to it.
You gotta love it though. You gotta love it though.
And now it's back.
It's back.
It's coming back.
Oh my God. I'm really excited about that for all that. But yeah. All right. Would you like to take a guess at top grossing movies of 2003? You want to do like top 5? Go ahead.
Are we
Sorry,
talking-
2005. My bad. 2003.
Well, Return of the King.
Yes, that is
domestically.
Domestically is that's number 3 domestically.
You're missing Finding Nemo's on there.
Top one. Finding Nemo is number 1 domestically.
Matrix Reloaded.
Number
probably.
4. Number 4.
Is T3 on there?
T3 is number 9.
Oh, okay. Oh God. Wait, what was number 1? Was it Return?
It's Nemo.
Is Nemo?
So
but
Return is number 3.
What's number 2?
It's also actually it's the first in a franchise. First in a franchise.
Ooh.
It's a beloved franchise. It's how am I gonna say this without giving away? All right, I'll give it away. It's got Johnny Depp in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah, Pirates 1 is number 2. Number 5, I don't think you'll get.
Butterfly Effect.
That was next year, 2004.
Number 5 domestically in 2003.
And it is not the Hulk.
Oh, I don't think Hulk did very well.
It's 14. I will give you this.
Is it X-Men 2?
That's number 6.
Ah, okay. What is it?
It's got Jim Carrey.
Oh, it's Bruce Almighty.
It's Bruce Almighty. Good job, Bruce Almighty. So those are the top 5 of all of that. Bad Boys 2 is number 10. So,
nice.
Good job all the way down. Checking in on Night Swim. Just our annual.
You bastard! You just really want to do Night Swim on this shit.
So bad. It's like one day we'll do Night Swim.
I'll fucking do it with you.
Oh, and the Lizzie McGuire movie's down at number 70. 4 above the Rugrats Go Wild.
I remember Rugrats Go Wild.
Absolutely.
Starring Bruce Willis as Spike. Can you give a dog a little piece here?
Now we're on to the What a Story mark. This is the most interesting fact I found in the movie. Nick's going to read it for you and rate it from 1 to 5 marks. And we say, as we say, in the vein of our hero, Tommy Wiseau, ha ha ha. What a story, Mark.
I once knew a girl. She was on her way to Daytona Beach.
Okay.
She got all her friends killed.
Trust me, none of them ended up in the hospital. All right.
There's nothing left. Incinerated. What a story, Mark. Devon Sawa revealed why he didn't appear in the sequel, explaining, "It just didn't work out. I wasn't in. I just wasn't really capable of working," the actor said. He then explained that he took a break from acting. Yes, this was all for some stupid punchline.
He took a break from acting. I don't know. Show the photo. He took a break from acting. I don't know. I mean, break from acting. This was done at the last minute.
But that's very funny. 4.75.
4.75 out of 5 just because it was so stupid.
Because you just should do more stupid.
Explains a lot. So 4.75 for What a Story, Mark.
Look, I did like this more than the first. I actually thought, you know what? If I'm in the mood for a Final Destination, I'd probably want to do this one.
Okay.
I can't say that for sure yet. I haven't seen every single one of them yet.
Sure.
But I was surprised how much I really enjoyed this one, and I felt pacing wise, it was really well. Okay. It was better than the first because I felt like it was kind of the opposite of the first, where after the halfway point for this one, there's just one set piece after another, and they're all fun, and they all like just bring the story all to where it's supposed to go. Which again, I think was a little more interesting than where the first one went. Because I'll say this, I felt the weaker parts of the first one were in the second half of the movie.
That's fair.
Especially by the end, I was just kind of like, I don't think I was as intrigued by what was going on as I was in like the first half of the first one. But this one, I felt like it just got better and better as it went along.
Sure.
I found the characters not only a little more interesting, I found them a little more likable. I found them a little more sympathetic too.
Yeah. Before we get to your favorite deaths and your least favorite deaths, let's rate the movie. Out of 100, what do you think for Final Two?
Out of 100, I don't really remember what I gave the first one.
I don't remember.
I think I gave it.
You gave it a little bit higher, yeah.
Give it something in the 70s. I think this. I'm going to give this an 83.
83. You like this one?
I liked this one. I liked it more than the first.
Sure.
I just cared more, and I was surprised how much I was invested in it by the end of it.
Sure. I'm gonna give this one personally for me like a 60. I think it's a little bit lower than Final One for that, but it's part of my favorite franchise.
Yeah,
you got it. Well, not my favorite, but one of my favorite franchises, and you gotta love it. Now I'd like to move on to our segment specifically for the final movies, and this is a segment with a new graphic called "What's Your Favorite Death?" No, hang on. Let's rename it. On HGTV. Anyway.
Now, does this have to be
in this movie?
But is it? But are we excluding the premonition?
You know what? Here's what I'll do. Because the premonition's so big in this, I'll ask you. Give me a premonition death that didn't happen, and then give me your favorite and least favorite death's design.
Okay.
The death that didn't happen is.
The death that didn't happen is Eugene's.
Where he gets hit with a fucking motorcycle?
His motorcycle, like, it just fucking, like, splats him against, like, whatever he's pinned to.
Yeah.
That I thought was great.
The motorcycle was like, "Daddy, don't leave me."
I don't want to give away who it is or how it happens, but the death catching up, the airbag.
Could you be a little quieter with that thing, please?
Yeah, sure. I'll just put it on quiet mode.
That would be good.
The best part about that sequence is like there's like 3 deaths within about it seems like real time in there, 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's why the pacing's great in this.
And it's so funny because the fire department is there trying to make sure nobody else dies.
They got the jaws of life. They're trying to get her out of the car.
And within like 5 minutes, more people have died, and they're just running around like, what the fuck is happening?
Wow, what? They turn their head and someone else is just sliced in like 3 parts.
It's like, what the fuck is happening? I loved the elevator death.
That's a good one.
I love the elevator death, getting caught with a hook and stuff like that. Which is really funny.
Man with hooks is going to kill you.
Yeah, my favorite part about Clear in this one as well is like, she's like, have you ever noticed something that's just like a little too ironic? Remember when she talks about death? Where she's like, you ever notice something that's just so on the nose or ironic that you're like, that can't happen, and then it does. It's like she understands that death is just like this like weird cheesy dude. It's just like
with skeleton hands.
Yeah, this is just like prepping stuff exactly for it. Fucking playing Highway to Hell on the interstate like they do in there. I like that a lot. Okay, fine. Least favorite death in the movie.
Oh, least? I don't know. The explosion in the hospital's pretty cheesy.
Yeah, I'll give it to that. Yeah, there's an explosion that takes out a couple characters, and I agree too. It's actually pretty cheap. Yeah, it's just like, oh man,
it's kind of cheap.
It's just whatever. It's over. But
there's more explosions in this movie, like fireball ass explosions.
This is Michael Bay's
that I've seen in like a Vietnam movie, or a fucking action movie. You know, like it's great.
I think that'll do it for us. Thank you for watching the 1.5 White Guys podcast, or more unsolicited white guy opinions on movies for long. Be sure to follow us, rate us, and subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts from. And don't forget to follow us on our Instagram at 1.5 White Guys Podcast, on TikTok at 1.5 White Guys Pod, and we made it. TikTok made it.
Oh yeah,
it made it. We thought it was gonna go away, but it's back or back.
And be sure to tell a friend to listen to the podcast where we say we're going to talk about a movie, and we do.
Yeah,
we do. We get sidetracked quite a bit though.
Fair enough.
And if you're not completely sick of us, we have a second show for you to check out called The Weird, the Bad, and the Bloody, exclusively on the Nerd Enthusiast YouTube channel. Nathan and I like to spin wheels determining what weird, bad, or bloody movie we will do from what decade, the 80s, 90s, or 2000s. I believe we just had... What did we just do? The Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2003. Because
I'm sure, and I'm also sure the other one's out. We watched Event Horizon last night.
No way!
Event Horizon. We just did that. We have some more stuff planned for April, and some of the stuff coming up over there. We get to explore some of the weirder ones we've talked about.
Yeah, we're going to we've got some stuff in store for you guys for that show. But for this, we are going to, since some legacy sequels are coming out, we're going to keep doing the Final Destinations for you, but we're also very excited for Jurassic World Rebirth. And we'll be bringing to you a few, well, not a few. I mean, this whole thing started because of Jurassic Park. So yeah,
we're trying to get through all of them, but maybe we won't. If we just get through all the parks,
I'd be fine with that.
That'd be fine. I don't really need to revisit Dominion again. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time for Final 3, which is my favorite. So we're getting into it. I'm excited to go through that one. But we will see you guys later. Bye.
I'll see you soon.